The other thing I'd like to see is like NZCNC come up as well, because CSE come up, comic collectors come up as well, because some of them come up, because it'll be cool to just come up and have a day trip up and then hang out and then go back the next day or something.
Yeah, well,
because,
it's a good comic, comic event or comic, family event, and so
yeah,
it's good to represent, and it's good to have members come out and join in and enjoy and put some treasures up. And like I always say, if me and Tama have a table there and people are on the group and they bring a few things they want to try and sell and pop there, you're more than welcome to join us and hang out and have a yarn. It'll be good fun.
I think
And if not, you can buy some of my comics.
yeah. I think what happens some of the times is people think that it is a long trip up here. I mean, I'm not long trip. It is a ride up here. I know the cost of petrol. I mean, I went up to Auckland last week. It cost $75 one way. To fill up the old.
I think you get more out of it coming up this way, though. It's beautiful. Beautiful Whangarei. Come on, people.
Yeah, and you come to the beach and all that if it's nice and if it's nice and warm. I mean, we've got all the nice areas, but I mean, 45 more minutes and you go up to all the other beaches and Brave Islands as well. So you've got all this. You've got basically a more relaxed environment to have a weekend away from from work and stuff. Like I was saying, so it's it costs a bit of money on petrol, so I understand that. And of course, it always if you're living in Auckland, you don't have to worry about going. If you're going to Armageddon, you don't have to worry about driving anywhere apart from like for half an hour or something. But the other thing is, you don't have to pay somewhere to stay, or you can billeting whatever, because if you've got family in Auckland, you just go and stay with them, right? If you're out of town, but it's kind of hard when you don't know anybody in Whangarei. And I think there are cheap motels as well. So I mean, and there's camper van parks as well. So I mean, you can't.
That said, I mean, day trips are totally doable. I do day trips all the time, and it's like not bad.
I mean, we went to Auckland and we spent about 4 hours in Auckland. So and came
Hamilton to Whangarei is totally doable for day trips and back. I mean, it's a bit tiring. It's a lot of driving, but it's not bad. It's certainly worth
if you've got 2 people driving, it makes it easier. If you've got a couple of people coming up, right?
Mm.
But then there is that other thing where you've actually going to create more friends as well, because you're going to be outside of your circles and you could be able to see people who are more, and if you're if you're part of a group like NZCC, you're basically going to be able to make friendships with people who actually have the same mindset, who are into collecting the same things, or you'll find out that there are other people who are friends of those friends who actually are into that, and then you could
It's fun that it's so exponential. Like once you keep on putting yourself out there, you meet more and more people. Yeah, there's some big dogs, but there's lots of little fellows who are really cool and fun to know. And it's great. They just keep coming every day and like meeting new ones. And when you share a passion, it's a special thing. And whatever thing, like might be pop vinyls or whatever, it's cool.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about it, because like you are creating an environment. I mean, we're trying to create an environment where everybody's able to. I mean, the event itself isn't, it's like a backdrop to what goes on actually when I'm not doing anything. It's when people, are just talking amongst themselves, are taking part in the events, are seeing other people play games, being shown how to play games like D&D or Flesh and Blood, or whatever else is happening there, or people making badges, or kids drawing comics or coloring in. So your parents, you can go grab a coffee or so on, and then come and see what your child's created. It's kind of interactivity that I really, really am proud of for what we do there. And I think, and then the other side is like people being able to share passions about what they do. So hopefully, we have a good turnout. But on top of that, I think, I mean, from year 1 to year 2, we went up about 300 people within within that short period. So I'm hoping that's a bigger turnout there again. And of course, we're building up towards, getting to what's called Forum North stage. We'll be able to hire the hall out like that, or have a council.
That would be a step.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty exciting.
Our 5th year, which is the goal, is to be at Forum North, but have the council pay for the hall and the advertising, and the community chip in and bring in like big name comic book anime people into Whangarei for that day, and make it into a like that Hundervast is going to be opening soon, so there'll be people coming there, but I want to be able to make sure that this event is the pop culture event for Whangarei. I mean, of course, we're looking to expand on that, and then after that, but onto other areas. But this is what we want for Whangarei, right? To be able to say this is Plunge is Whangarei based, and it's a pop culture event that's on the calendar every year that everybody's aware of, and that's the go-to place out of Whangarei for that time. I mean,
Are
we
you going
won't
to use
probably,
the community advertising boxes?
yeah,
So there's a nice one outside my work.
We get Creative Northland owns it, I think, and they've got a key for that. I'm not sure if they own that, but they have a key for that. So we're going to get some posters made up next week. I was just finishing off making sure that all the people that are involved have their name on the poster, because one of the things that I do like to do is to anybody's involved with us is to let people know that they're involved with us, because that's marketing who they are as well as what we're marketing. So it helps it, friendship and that business acumen. Relationship grow, I should say. Is there anything you've got coming on with NZCC, and are you guys doing anything else apart? Oh yeah, you talk about Tama coming up, so it's New Zealand.
Tama was, well, he's one of the original founders with me on the group, and he's coming up to take part in the event. So he's a great friend. He's moved down from Auckland, so he's making a much bigger commute. He's making sure there's going to be a few more comics there to represent.
Is it comics and collectors?
Yeah, so we're in New Zealand Comics and Collectibles, and so like in cases everything, like, but me and Tom are probably he's a toy guy and comic guy, and I guess I'm more of a comic guy and maybe video games. But I mean, really, it's just bringing together collectors, and so there's people from all kinds of niches. It's nice to service some of those different areas and put some stuff out there. But I mean, mainly for the social kind of thing, it's good to represent and have some variety and have some things on offer. But for me, I enjoy just being part of it. It's the biggest gift. Like, it's the most fun. It's the most awesome bit, meeting people that you've met online that you haven't met before. And so it's really awesome having Tama. He's super reliable. He's always been a big part of things. And he really, it's a treat having him there, really.
Stuff for me. He was able to get some stuff that I've been after when he went to toy shows and grabbed me this. I mean, this is, this goes back to my childhood. And I was like, as soon as I saw that, I want that, dude. I don't care how much. So he was able to hunt that down for me at one of the events. So, I think
good like that. He gets out there. He's a real community person. But long before New Zealand Comics and Collectibles, he was doing the events much the same as Plunge around the place and being part of that scene. And he's always been part of other people's events, so the Auckland Toy and Hobby Show and things like that. And it's just amazing. That's his gift, is just being present and then sharing all these cool things and getting out there and meeting people. So I'm real excited to see him. He's good company.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even we might have some stuff up here that we're going to put out that I have a difficulty with parting with things. I've been called a hoarder.
I know the feeling.
And I appreciate that. But it's a passion, and my passion's now become my,
madness.
Has created this, has created this whole thing, my passion. And so, I don't regret being a hoarder, but